Michael Phillips. I am a delivery partner with Syniti, and I'm based in Chicago, Illinois. And today we're going to talk about a day in the life for me. Usually I wake up, depending on the day and whatever stress I'm dealing with at that point, I wake up somewhere between 5:30 in the morning and 7 a.m. And I have to handle and deal with a very high maintenance Chihuahua at that point. Immediately it's either he wants to eat or I have to take him out. So I take care of that. And then I feed myself. And while I'm feeding myself, he immediately wants to go right back to bed. So he does that while I am feeding myself and getting myself ready. And during that time, usually what I start doing is checking because, colleagues around the world, there might have been messages or emails that came through while I was asleep that need urgent replies. So I'll check my Teams, I'll check email, and just make sure that I didn't miss anything while I was catching a few hours of sleep. Then once I'm finished getting ready, I get him ready and walk him to doggy daycare. So usually the walk to doggy daycare in the morning, I don't have any calls that I've got to join, so I enjoy kind of just a walk, the two of us down there. But the walk home, I usually have a call as soon as I've dropped him off or within a few minutes of dropping him off on the walk back. And that can be sometimes internal or client status calls. The day then is really a delicate balancing act of which double or triple booked meeting I must attend versus which are okay to send a proxy or even maybe get the Cliffs Notes version afterward. At the start of my day, it always kind of looks like lunch is going to happen at 12 because there's no other meeting scheduled or it looks like I'm going to be free about that time. But by the time I get there, various meetings have popped up or fires have appeared, and I end up pushing lunch most days to about 1:30 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon. A lot of my days, that consist from a client perspective, a lot of client meetings. Those could be status calls, they could be design discussions, workstream specific weekly meetings, change control calls, migration team meetings, which I'd be running. And additionally, mentoring meetings, right? If I've got some more junior resources on the project or external to the project that I'm working with and kind of coaching, defect calls, all sorts of things happening there. Um, I think one of the things that takes up the majority of my time, right, is some of the challenges that arise or the fires I was talking about earlier. Some of the things I think that I've seen pretty consistently that require where me to dive in and kind of use my expertise and knowledge to help is really when you're around like mock conversion cycles or data loads. As much as a team and or as a project tries to practice those and plan everything out down to sometimes even the minute, things happen, right? It could be a change in the data, it could be a change in the coding, it could be a change in the network that the target system is on. All of those can throw off a meticulous plan, and they can potentially cause a massive snowball effect downstream. So a lot of times what I have to dig in and do is when something like that occurs, step back and really assess the bigger picture of what the impact, the so what of that issue, and then analyze, replan, and provide options on a path forward, right? My job there is to provide those recommendations and give options to the PMO team or the work streams, depending on where the issue it lies. An overwhelming majority of the projects that I have led or been a part of are really migration related projects, and a lot of them, I would say probably over 90% are SAP to SAP, and so like an ECC or an AFS system to SAP S4 HANA. So that presents an additional layer of complexities or challenges. Some of that core functionality changed between the two SAPs, and and so I think there's a lot of times a mistaken uh, idea that it's as easy as, oh, just lift and shift because it's SAP to SAP, which isn't always the case. And so I find a lot of times having to, if we've exhausted every other avenue that we have available to us, when a customization or a data issue or even a potential software bug is causing is causing a roadblock, then I've got to engage directly with SAP, and that could be through SAP support pages, that could be through some of my connections at SAP, or even a SAP specific project resource to find what that true root cause is, and identify a solution. The other side of my day or days can entail internal meetings, right? So not only am I running projects and on projects and troubleshooting and solutioning there and planning, but then I've got direct reports external to my projects, so some more internal work where I've got one-on-ones that I hold with each of my direct reports every month. I've got internal trainings myself that I've got to keep up with. I got to know what our tool set is, and what the newest release has, and if we've got new software that has hit, or a new opportunity there, I've got to stay up to date on that, as well as researching as new tools are released, right? I think as S4 has grown over the past few years, we've seen a lot of changes in migration load options. So I think it's paying attention to a lot of what those options are, and making sure that I'm up to date as best I can be. Then there's additionally, I may end up also getting to assist or work with internal teams from a pre-sales perspective. That could be with just internal folks, or that could be with internal teams, as well as sometimes potential future clients, really to discuss, and come in with my area of expertise to help ask the right questions, or provide some guidance around the way that I would typically approach something, or what I've seen as a best practice. Usually, around 6 or 6:30 towards the p.m. at the end, towards the end of the day, not actually quite yet, but I walk down back to pick up Eeyore from daycare. I'm always on a call walking there without fail. But then on the walk back, he and I get to walk again without a call usually, so that we can walk back and just be the two of us. However, the walk is mainly for me because he refuses to walk, and I had to get a bag and carry him on in a bag on the walk home, because he would just be dead weight on my arm when he refused to walk. So normally I get back home, he eats, and I start making dinner, and I'm still working usually until about 8 or 8:30 at night. Around 9 p.m., I put my Teams and my email on Do Not Disturb mode until the next day around 7 a.m., so that I can get a little bit of a break there. And then, he and I settle in on the couch to watch whatever fantastic Apple TV Plus show is waiting for us. So that's just a little highlight of the typical day in the life for me. Thanks for watching.